Shalom Yasharallah, this is Yeshaya coming at y'all with a car chronicle. On this one, I'm driving, so I don't have the scripture queued up that I want to talk about, but the one that talks about the basket on thy store shall be cursed in Deuteronomy 28. And that's a curse that really mostly affects Judah. Not as much with Benjamin. I don't see it happen with Levi or the 10 tribes as much, but it happens to all the tribes. Thy basket in thy store. A lot of our businesses are, have a high turnaround. Judah is crazy with their turnaround, though. I'm gonna tell y'all, like, I live in Jersey, right? I live in the area. I live in Elizabeth, right next to Newark, and I could tell y'all there was I don't know of any soul food restaurants in Elizabeth, where there used to be one right across the street, right like a few blocks from where we go to camp at. Now you had that, and now you don't have that. I don't know if there's another one that has taken its place anywhere else in the city. In Newark, it's crazy. You'd be hard pressed to find a soul food restaurant that has been there for 20 years. You have Just Fish. Just Fish moved, so it's not even in the same place as it was before. That's a sign of instability. Not gross instability, but it is a sign of instability. You have Fajr's, a Muslim soul food restaurant. They used to have 2 spots in Newark, one on Market Street and one on Springfield Ave. I don't know if they got the one in Springfield Ave. I doubt it. There was another one on Springfield Ave that was owned by Trinidadians. I know because I used to work with the guy's sister that owns it. I think his name is Chuck or something. Tazaiwan knows him. Elder Tazaiwan. So, but that one, I don't think, Rock the Boat, it was called Rock the Boat. I don't think we had, I don't think that one's there either. Right now you have the soul food chest spot. That one's still there. When I used to work, to work and live downtown Newark, there used to be a spot called Jay's. And Jay's closed down. Jay's, I actually saw Shaq in there one time. It was Shaq and his party, and it was me by myself. And I ain't say a word to Shaq because I don't, I'm not one of those starstruck niggas. I could meet my favorite rapper and just dap him up like a normal human being. But Jay's closed down. What else did you have? I think John's Place closed down. So, and this is just soul food. I'm not talking about black-owned barbershops or black-owned anything. Like, you have, first and foremost, the fact that you have such high turnaround time. So, black-owned businesses, at least soul food restaurants, let's stick with just that in Newark, right? Black-owned restaurants in Newark don't have any buying power. So that's why you go there, you get a plate, simple fried damn chicken, simple fried chicken, mac and cheese and collard greens. Costs sometimes $20. Why is that? Because you have to understand that they're fighting with Chinese food restaurants. You think you're getting the same chicken, or you think you're getting the same anything. You can't compare Chinese fried rice and Chinese fried chicken wings with soul food chicken wings and soul food sides, right? More goes into making soul food. And on top of that, they don't have, the price is so high because they don't have buying power. You might have one Chinese family that owns 10 Chinese restaurants, and that family says, hey, give us lower prices. We will exclusively buy from you. So you might have a slaughterhouse, or you might have a a company that supplies, you know, food to, you know, raw products basically to a Chinese restaurant, and they're like, yo, these motherfuckers are good for half of our inventory every month. They buy up half of our inventory by themselves. So we have to give them a good price. Whereas the soul food restaurant, you don't know when they're going to close down, but you know that they're 9 times out of 10 going to close down. So they don't have the buying power, and they don't have a conglomerate. They don't have a bunch of soul food restaurants owned by the same person, or one person speaking for multiple soul food restaurants that's negotiating a lower price. So cursed shall be thy basket in thy store means a lot in the Judite community. Probably more so. All those curses, most of those curses are more like Judah gets impacted the most, at least in the United States. We got to remember, cursed shall be thy basket in thy store means something different in Cuba. Over there, we barely had, like, I don't know what type of stores we have in Cuba. A lot of stuff is rationed out. You don't have to buy it. It's already the government, like, here, we bought this much amount of rice and this much amount of chicken and whatever. You know, the food is rationed out over there. We don't have a lot of stores over there. You know, cursed shall be thy basket in store means something different in Mexico, everywhere. Everywhere you go, it means something different, not in the sense of it actually meaning something different, because for all the tribes, our basket on our store are cursed. For all the tribes, it's just that it plays out a different way for each tribe, right? So you have Judah. Judah's heavily impacted by this. Look at Issachar. Cursed shall be that basket in thy store. You got El Guero's Taqueria. I forgot what the hell it is. I think it's called El Guero's. You have about 4 of those throughout Elizabeth, Newark, East Orange, and you have Chipotle, where people think that they're really eating Mexican food. You have Taco Bell, where people think that they're eating authentic Mexican food. They're not. It's race appropriation. Now, if you didn't have Chipotle and you didn't have, what's the other one I just said? Taco Bell. Authentic Mexican businesses would probably be making a killing. But now they're fighting with, or they're competing with the only thing an authentic Mexican restaurant has to kind of help them business-wise is the fact that they're authentic Mexican food. But the problem is we're all in love with the Taco Bell version of Mexican food. So what's the Taco Bell version? Mexicans don't really eat ground beef like that. I don't think I don't remember the time that I've seen a Mexican sit down and eat home-cooked food that had ground beef in it. They eat whole, like, the steaks. They eat, like, you know, chopped up steaks and shit. They don't have hard shell tacos. Hard shell tacos are not authentic Mexican cuisine. That's the American version. So when we say taco night, Taco Tuesday and shit in America, that means something totally different from authentic Mexican tacos. And these are just examples. Cursed shall be thy basket in thy store. You know, in this case, we have mom and pop shops that are gonna forever stay mom and pop shops because you have fake Mexican cuisine with Chipotle and what's the other one? Taco Bell. But like I said, the only thing that keeps Mexican food in business in America, authentic Mexican food, is mostly that people know that there's a difference between authentic Mexican food and Taco Bell and Chipotle. So people that really want the authentic, the real Mexican food, they'll go to El Guero's or I don't know, whatever other ones there are. I don't know the names of them. But it just goes to prove, cursed shall be thy basket in thy store. That means something. We got to look at these scriptures and realize, like, yo, although it might mean something different from tribe to tribe, it ultimately means the same thing. Like I said, it might play out a little different because every tribe has its own country, or a lot of the tribes. Judah doesn't have a country. Let's deal with that. The United States, they're under another country. Then you have Mexico. Mexico is its own entity, its own country. So the economics are going to all be different for Mexican people. Because at least they're in a country that they can say is their own, although it's really ran by cartels and Spaniards. So these are all things that mean something, right? Dominican barbershops. Now, those motherfuckers, every so often, they go out of business. Why? Because cursed shall be thy basket in thy store. But also, you just have, for one, you have a lot of competition with Dominican. There's a fucking Dominican barbershop everywhere. There's really Dominican barbershops everywhere. Like the Judite, and they're competing with Judah. And they don't have no more buying power than anybody else. That's one business that you don't have a lot of buying power. You know, you buy whatever. Each barber comes in with their own tools, their own scissors, their own clippers, and that's just what it is. You don't. It's not a. It's not really a. You don't get any discounts or anything. You know, so you might have a situation where you let this barber have that chair, right? And you charge him a certain amount a month. And that's all that is. You charge them a certain amount a month, and then they have to make a certain amount of cuts a month, obviously. And those motherfuckers work from early in the morning till late at night sometimes. Just cutting hair. You know, or what else do you have in the hood? What other Jake-owned businesses? Bodegas. Bodegas are being ran by Arabs now. So Dominicans went from bodegas to barbershops because bodegas are now, Arabs are like, fuck that. We could get all this shit for cheaper than Dominican prices. Because a lot of times it all depends on the price. Like I said to y'all before, man, soul food restaurants are fighting actually with two different types of businesses. They're fighting with chicken shacks and they're fighting with Chinese food stores. And at the end of the day, when you broke in the hood, are you gonna go get a platter with 4 fried wings and and then you got Wingstop. So yeah, if you have a soul food restaurant, you're fighting with a lot of different businesses, and at the end of the day, for poor black and brown people, it boils down to the numbers. What's the price like? Because that's what's going to be the ultimate deciding factor when you're living in poverty and you're trying to decide where you're going to eat from if you don't make it at home. You know, but with that, man, this is a big job. With that, I've reached where I'm going, but you know, understand that it's all economics, you know, and there's ways that we can do exactly what the other nations do. We're cursed, but we're not, you know, there are practical ways that we quote unquote could thrive despite the curses, but because we're cursed, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But with that, I'm going to say shalom.